Night settles slowly over the county of Kent. The sky hangs low, thick with February clouds that block the moon and mute the stars. Only scattered streetlights cast pale circles onto the ground, their glow softened by damp air drifting across fields and roads. The town of Tunbridge rests under the stillness. Rows of brick houses stand quiet. Gardens lie untouched. Trees sway in the faint suggestion of a breeze, moving just enough to break their silhouette against the night. A few cars pass now and then, their headlights cutting through the mist for brief moments before fading again. The roads curve gently, following the landscape in quiet arcs. On the outskirts of town sits a large industrial building, plain, windowless in places, flanked by security fences and surrounded by the open dark of the industrial estate. It is the Securitas cash depot, one of the facilities responsible for sorting and distributing banknotes across the region. Inside, the temperature is controlled. The lights are fluorescent and steady. Workers move through their evening tasks with quiet efficiency, counting, sorting, storing. It feels like any other night. Nothing rushed, nothing unusual, just a routine shift moving slowly toward morning. Outside, the night continues its calm, offering no indication of what is about to unfold. In February 2006, a group of individuals began moving through Tonbridge in ways that did not immediately draw attention. They drove ordinary vehicles, they wore ordinary clothes, they appeared to follow ordinary routines. Over time, some of them had watched the depot, not dramatically, from a distance, noting when shifts changed, noting the pattern of lights turning on and off, noting which cars arrived and which departed. One of the men involved was aware of the depot manager. He knew the man followed a predictable schedule. He knew which roads he drove home. He knew the path between the depot and his home well enough to blend into the scenery. Nothing that happened appeared rushed. It unfolded in small decisions, quiet, steady steps leading toward a particular night. On the night of February 21st, 2006, the movements of several vehicles created a pattern that would only later be understood in full. Shortly before 6 p.m., the depot manager was driving home along familiar roads. A car behind him signaled for him to pull over, displaying what looked like a police light. It was not unusual for drivers to comply with such signals. He slowed. He stopped. Moments later, he realized something was wrong. The people approaching him were not police officers. They guided him into a vehicle and moved away from the road, deeper into the countryside. At almost the same time, at a different location, his wife and young child were approached at their home by individuals who appeared polite and calm. They reassured them. They guided them into a vehicle as well. These movements were not loud or dramatic. They occurred quietly, carried by the stillness of the night, unnoticed by neighbors or passing cars. By evening, the family had been brought together. They were told they would be unharmed. The individuals spoke with measured voices. There was no shouted urgency. Later that night, the depot manager was taken to the Securitas building. He entered using his credentials. Inside, staff saw him as an authority figure and responded accordingly. The group moved through the halls. Their instructions were simple. Workers were gathered and brought into a secure room. No injuries occurred. Movements were controlled, steady, and deliberate. Over the next hour, banknotes were loaded into the back of a vehicle. Safes remained largely untouched. Only accessible cash was taken. By the time the group left, more than 50 million pounds had been removed from the depot. It was one of the largest cash thefts in British history. Outside, the night still hung low over Tunbridge. Wind moved through hedgerows. Streetlights flickered softly. Nothing in the quiet landscape suggested what had happened inside the depot. The following morning, February 22nd, workers freed themselves from the secure room and contacted authorities. They described calm interactions, measured instructions, and the absence of physical harm. The depot itself showed little disturbance. No walls had been damaged, no doors had been forced open. The building appeared almost unchanged, aside from the missing cash. A vehicle used in the heist was found abandoned later that day. It contained empty cash cages and traces of the banknotes once stored inside them. As the days passed, more items were found. A burned-out van, discarded clothing, rental documents. These pieces formed a pattern, a sequence of movements that could be retraced with quiet precision. Investigations revealed links between some of the individuals involved. Phone records, vehicle rentals, and shared acquaintances gradually connected scattered details. But not everything became clear. Some roles remained uncertain. Some connections remained partially documented, but not fully explained. Photographs taken after the robbery show empty storage cages lying neatly in rows. The fluorescent lights above them cast uniform shadows. Nothing appears chaotic. The order of the room remains largely intact. The cash that was taken was packaged in rectangular bundles, each stamped with dates and denominations. None of this packaging was left behind. Receipts for rental vehicles were among the items found later. Simple slips of paper, folded and creased, offering small insights into the movement of people. CCTV footage captured some of the night's events, though not all. Many cameras showed routine scenes, people walking, doors opening, lights flickering in steady intervals. In these images, there is a sense of quiet repetition, nothing frantic, only controlled motions through familiar spaces. Evidence collected later was stored in boxes, labeled and sealed. Inside them, objects remained silent. Tools, clothing, fragments of paper, each offering a partial view of a much larger picture. Some believe the robbers had detailed inside knowledge of the depot's routines. Others suggest that careful observation from outside could have produced the same understanding. It is possible that the group intended to take more money, but left when time became a concern. Others think the amount stolen matched a predetermined plan. Some reports suggest that additional individuals may have played roles that were never confirmed publicly. Other accounts argue that the known participants acted largely on their own. There are theories about where the money went. Some believe it was quickly distributed through established channels. Others suggest that much of it was hidden or lost. The truth behind these theories remains partly obscured. The evidence supports some interpretations, while leaving others unanswered. The full scope of planning and execution may never be known. Today, the depot still stands in Tonbridge. Its exterior is unchanged in many ways. Plain, practical, aligned with its industrial surroundings. Trucks move in and out as part of daily operations. Workers follow routines established long before 2006 and refined since then. The town itself remains peaceful. Shops open in the morning. Children walk to school. Fields around the industrial estate remain quiet, shifting gently with the wind. The roads once used during the heist show no signs of what occurred. They carry new traffic now. Ordinary cars, delivery vans, buses following schedule. The landscape absorbs events over time. Buildings stay, trees grow, lights switch on and off each evening. What happened in 2006 becomes part of the area's memory, but not its daily movement. Nearly 2 decades have passed since that February night. Many of the individuals involved were identified and brought to trial. Large portions of the stolen money were never recovered. Some details remain in shadows, known only to those who moved through the depot's quiet halls that night. Documents from the case rest in archives now. Boxes hold photographs, receipts, and statements that no longer carry the urgency they once did. They sit in climate-controlled rooms, undisturbed, their edges slowly yellowing with time. The Securitas depot robbery remains one of the most significant cash thefts in British history. Yet what endures is not a sense of spectacle, but a sense of quiet precision. Steps taken in silence, movements through dim hallways, a night preserved in fragments. There is no final moment that resolves everything. Only the passage of years carrying the event further from immediate memory and deeper into quiet history. Outside, the sky over Tunbridge lifts into another morning. Clouds drift, light returns, and the world continues its slow, steady rhythm, unhurried, unchanged, and quiet.